What's up, y'all? It is Sunday morning. Welcome to another vlog. This one's going to be a little different. So, we're going to take y'all through our daily routine today, but also we're going to hit a very important topic, and that's achieving longevity. So, for those who have not been following us, September 21st made it 15 years.
15 years.
15
Since we've
years
met.
of
Yeah.
being in each other's lives. And since then, it has been a beautiful whirlwind.
To say the least. I mean, we've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of hard truths that we had to learn about each other. And just to add more layers, we met 15 years ago in 2009, and we've been married for 7 years. So just to give you a little bit more of the breakdown there. But yeah, I mean, this topic of longevity is something that's on our mind because every year, the longer we've been together, the longer we've known each other, it makes us think, like, what's keeping us together? Like, what's the glue? And a lot of you all, our followers, our subscribers, often ask, like, what is the key? What is the glue that's keeping us together? And so we thought we would just come on and kind of share throughout our day some tidbits of what that looks like for us.
Before we get started, though, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Y'all know we love replying to y'all in the comments, so be sure to leave one on this video. And yeah, so let's get started. One of the primary things that come to mind when it comes to longevity, and this is a big topic for us, and I'm sure with other relationships, is communication. So with that, I think for us, it's been good that it's been open and honest.
Yeah.
I'll say on my part, I've struggled with being open and honest with communication, and honestly, I've gotten better.
You've gotten better.
Okay.
You've gotten better. And I think it's always important to, like, recognize we grew up together, essentially. I mean, we've known each other since we were 18 years old. We're now in our 30s. So, you know, you can do the math there. But essentially, learning to communicate as two young black men, black queer men in the South, like, they're just cultural things we're not used to sharing. We were raised completely differently. And so we've had to mold and, like, learn together over a very long period of time. And it's something that we're still working on. Like, communication is not perfect, but it's really hard, and you have to be willing to commit long term to the journey to learn how to effectively and respectfully communicate with each other.
Emphasis on effectively and respectfully, because I think that's important. You never want to attack your partner or your significant other, and you don't want to make them feel attacked.
Yeah.
I know personally for me, one of the big communication issues that I go through is when we have a very heated discussion. My baseline is, like, I feel like I'm being attacked, and so I'm always on the defensive about that.
Yeah.
And so Alex and my therapist has actually been helping me work through those and realize that I need to not be always on guard and so defensive when we're just trying to get to the same solution.
Yeah. And on the note of a therapist, Ricky and I do have marriage therapy. Like, that's something that's extremely important and has taught us some tools that we've been able to use to effectively and respectfully communicate with each other.
What would you say in our 15 years, how have you improved your communication throughout the years?
So, I think what I actively work on when it comes to communicating is learning not to talk over people, learning to let people finish their statement. Because I do, you know, when I'm going back and forth with someone, it can be a back and forth, tit for tat kind of thing. And that's something that I've had to work on tremendously, that Ricky and I have both tried to work on, because we are, in a sense, trying to one-up each other in an argument sometimes. So I'm learning kind of not to engage in that way. And like I said, it's imperfect. It's a journey. But I definitely have seen improvement there.
I definitely noticed that lately in our heated discussions that it's been really just when those situations come up, being mindful and letting the other person finish their thought and let them finish it completely. So I appreciate that. I've noticed the growth. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that from you.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. So we're actually pulling up to get some coffee from Black Coffee, and then I'm going to get my hair cut. So let's run in here and get our drinks, and then we'll be back on to talk a little bit more with you all. You gonna DJ with me?
All right, so we are back. Got the fresh cut, got the fresh line up.
Yeah, it might be hard to see lighting wise, but we actually, I'm setting up to record a DJ set for my channel and for my streaming, um, where I post my sets. We can discuss the next topic.
Yeah, let's discuss the next topic. So the next topic that came to mind for us as we were thinking about what longevity means to us is going to be mutual respect and support. And basically, that just boils down to each of us finding our own interests and hobbies kind of outside. So, for instance, I do flag football. Alex does not. However, Alex does support me doing flag football.
And I have a few endeavors, one of which most recently is DJing. And, you know, it's something that Ricky supports and has been supportive of. And yeah, I just think this idea of being supportive it goes a long way. Mm-hmm. People often ask me, like, how are you doing all of that? How do you always manage to juggle multiple gigs, jobs, whatever? And after you look inwardly, it all boils down to support. Like, I have a support system, and Ricky's a big part of my support system.
Yeah. Now, that's not to say we don't do things together, but that also comes into play too. Like, we do things together, but there's also a balance of doing things together, but also doing separate things that we enjoy as well.
Ironically, it wasn't until I think maybe our late 20s, or like literally in the most recent years, probably during the pandemic, where we really discovered we need to create lives separate from each other. And that's not to say we're not creating a life together, but I think Ricky told me recently, what did you say in a text when we had this conversation?
Which conversation?
You said something along the lines of, we need to learn to live individually while still living together. Or I don't know.
Yes, something. Like basically two individuals on the same path, if that makes sense. So what that means is...
And then we got to clear that up.
Yeah, so what that means is I'm not necessarily going to always enjoy some of Alex's hobbies, and that's okay. That's not for me to enjoy 100% of what he likes or does. What I can do on my end as a partner is just be there and support.
We have our individual lives, and then we have the life we have together.
Yes.
Like, that's what this is really about.
Yes.
And our individual lives are not detangled or completely separate from the life we have together, because they're like clearly implications of us, you know, having our individual lives and what we do on our individual personal basis on what we do together. like our work, our jobs, our friendships, the relationships we have outside of our relationship with each other. Mm-hmm. But it's really about respecting, like, oh, you need to go spend time with your friends. I'll tell a story. There have been a couple occasions this year where I automatically assumed I was invited to something. And Ricky had to tell me, actually, I was doing this on my own. And it's, it's a little bit of mental gymnastics to figure out, like, wait, why are you doing this on your own? Why am I not invited? I thought we do everything together. We're supposed to go all these places together. Like, what is that about? Mm-hmm. And, easily discovered or realized that it's really important for us to have our own separate endeavors, individual lives, and make sure that those are thriving so that we can have a healthy life together. But that was a lot of work for me to do internally to get to a point where I'm okay with being not invited to my husband's things.
Yeah.
We're so used to doing everything together, and I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. I think what we've done as far as improvement on that aspect is really just whenever certain situations come up, and say for instance, I want to do something, I'll let him know, like, hey, there's this thing coming up, and my plan is to do this by myself. Now, that it sounds a little uncomfortable at first, a little weird, but I think that's how we can better resolve that I don't want to call it a disconnect, but we can better resolve that understanding where it's like, I don't want you here versus I want to do this myself.
Yeah, because there's this feeling of being or feeling unwanted, mm-hmm. and that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
But that's how I was feeling. So how support plays into this mutual support is supporting each other's individual need mm-hmm. to have a thriving social life, a thriving life outside of our marriage, which is just, it's also been part of the journey. And that's what I think is the key to unlocking, so many more happy years in our relationship.
I agree. Yeah. I think so too.
That's it. Same, yeah. Well, I'm about to record this DJ set, and of course we'll link my channel below in case you want to listen. Mm-hmm. But you got to do this really quickly because we got some other plans later this afternoon.
All right, so we'll be back with another topic in just a bit.
All right.
And we are about to head to this event going on in our city. So
it's like a little house party or house music festival mm-hmm. happening just a few blocks away from our house here in I ain't gonna say all that. But yeah, it's walking distance, so we're walking there.
Yeah, it's actually the first time we've actually walked somewhere, so it's kind of new, just kind of getting out here and seeing the neighborhood and stuff. A lot has changed. A lot of these houses some of them are the same, but some of them, since we've been here since 2018, we've seen definitely some change.
So one of the things that we wanted to talk about next was how do we keep like fun and intimacy in our relationship when we have such busy schedules. And this came up for us recently because we were getting concerned about the lack of quality time that we were spending together.
All right, so quality time. That came about because during one of our check-ins, I recently told Alex, I was like, I don't really think we spend a lot of quality time together anymore because we always have these obligations and everything. And yes, we are together, but when I say quality time in that moment, I meant more of just like me and him sometimes doing nothing and sometimes just doing things that cannot be classified as work. Yeah. So we used to watch a lot of TV together, and I would consider that quality time because we're not focusing on work, we're not doing anything, we're just kind of hanging out, enjoying each other's company. The solution now is, I would say, making intentional time along with, our work schedules and everything, making intentional time to cultivate that quality time together.
It's really about planning. Like,
Yeah.
actually, we discovered a way to share our calendar. So we have one calendar that merges my work calendar, his work calendar, all the calendars into one. So we're able to see each other's day-to-day schedule and make plans around it. And we don't have to get frustrated or worried about things popping up last minute. That made a world of a difference. It was not easy to do. And those kind of like productivity integrations in your life cost money, which I don't love. But it was worth it because now we have better insight to like what his workload looks like, what my workload looks like, and we can carefully plan our quality time around all the work things. Yeah, if y'all want tips and tricks on like productivity, like managing like a household, I think we are officially qualified on how to do that
I think
point.
so too. Yeah.
So let us know in the comments if you want another video about that. Yo, what's up, everybody? We are back. We left you all whenever we left the gym and had a great workout. And then when we left the gym, we went to the grocery store for the week. Monday morning, like first thing in the morning, I felt so
Productive.
Like
Yeah.
we are in our grandpa era. Like getting up, going to the store before the rest of the world, like that is just, I don't know, something iconic about that.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice. Like everything was fully stocked. The staff was there. We were in and out.
Yeah.
Probably in less time than we usually take at the grocery store. So
Yeah, it was easy.
I might actually do it again, honestly.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and it's on the way from the gym, so we shouldn't. I mean, there's no excuse. And I'm glad we did it because if we didn't go to the grocery store, then we would not be eating at home, which we've got to stop eating out, y'all.
No, listen, we've had takeout, I will say probably like 5 times.
Yeah. Uber
5
Eats,
times out the week. That's
DoorDash,
crazy.
and we like to cook. We love cooking. I had a funny story. So my job, I have a company card, and I was a bunch of charges from Uber Eats appeared on my company account, and I was like, "What's going on here? Like, I'm not spending my employer's money on food that I'm buying for our home." And it turns out that I hadn't switched over the card whenever I was buying a bunch of meals from Uber Eats. And so I was so embarrassed because now my colleagues who, track our expenses, they see how much we order in, which is, it's
They're
just
probably like, damn, every day.
every day.
Every day.
It was bad. It was getting bad there. I got all that refunded, thankfully. But yeah, so we got to the grocery store, we bought things. Now we're back at home, and we wanted to wrap up this discussion with you all about longevity and what it's been meaning to us to have been in each other's lives for 15 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, so a question that I wanted to ask you to close this whole topic out is the topic of success. So, like, what does success look like to you now as far as what it did like 15 years ago when we first started this thing?
Yeah. Success 15 years ago, I think it just would have been more like textbook, relationship, marriage, all of that stuff, getting married, buying a house, having kids, building a family, growing old together. Like a very linear kind of depiction of what a successful relationship should be. And I think over time, I've definitely grown out of having all those expectations in place. Some of them we've achieved. We got married, we bought a house. Other stuff, is definitely something we plan for. But I've learned that those aren't like the most important markers of a successful relationship. Because a lot of people are in relationships, they have all of those things, and they're not happy. They're not successful. They have a house, they have kids, they got married, they got together, but they're not happy in the relationship that they're in. And so we've had to, I think, spend a lot of time reprioritizing what makes us happy, and and it's paid off, I think, in significant ways. So yeah, so my perception has changed a lot over the last 15 years. The world has also changed a lot over the last 15 years. I mean, it's a completely different place now compared to where it was when we started dating.
Agreed.
It is wild. What about you?
I would say what success looks like for us now is really just kind of along the lines of what you said, as far as focusing on the people in the relationship rather than what we want in the relationship, if that makes sense.
What do you mean by that?
So what I mean by like what we want, as far as like the textbook kind of goals, if you will, that's most people acquire to hit, like marriage, the house, the dogs, and everything like that. And I'm glad we kind of diverted that thinking a couple years into our relationship to really focus on the foundation of it, which is really just the partnership between me and you, and just those check-ins, those monthly check-ins that we do, where we just kind of sit down and we just like really just me and you just kind of discuss like, where are you at right now? How are you feeling? Are you still in this like I'm in this type situations? I really appreciate those because they kind of center us back into what we were grounded in. And I think that's always important.
Yeah.
So that'd be my answer.
Yeah, I mean, so success today really, I mean, obviously we think we have a very successful relationship. It has its ups and downs. It's a journey. As Ricky reminds me, being with somebody every day, it's a choice. And we wake up every day and we make that choice every day. And, it's been blissful. Our relationship has had so much bliss and happiness, and we keep rediscovering new ways to make each other happy, to support each other, to make each other proud. And yeah, I mean, who knows what tomorrow holds? We'll discover something entirely new about each other, and the freshness is still there. Like, these are all, to me, the key elements of a successful relationship. And you also have to be actively seeking out like the blissful moments, right? If you are kind of settling in a spirit of, oh, this relationship isn't for me, or oh, it's too much work, or it's too hard, or we argue today, I'm out, I'm checking out, then maybe you need to spend more time with yourself. Like, that's, to me, is a sign that growth needs to happen on an individual level. But yeah, we have a very successful relationship based on what we deem to be success factors, which we've laid out so far, and we determine that, nobody else. And I think that was like one of the biggest changes between 2009 when we first met and now in 2024. So yeah.
Love that. I couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, that basically concludes what longevity means to us. Let us know in the comments what longevity means to you. What are some factors that make your relationship or future relationships to be successful in your eyes? Yeah, let us know. Interact with us. We'll also go ahead and close out the vlog here. So, as always, thank y'all for watching. And for our new people, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We love to interact with y'all in the comments. So, leave us a comment.
All right.
And yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging on with us.